All right, welcome everyone to Creative Chelsey. This video is live on Facebook, and you could be watching the replay either in my Facebook group or on my YouTube channel. So we're just going to give it a minute so that people can start to find us. We are going to make this really pretty alternative card today using the Hello Dear Friend all-inclusive card kit from Stampin' Up. So I'm just getting online and finding the video just so I can make sure that everything is working and that I can look at comments as people post them. Or on my YouTube channel. So if you are here with us, go ahead and leave a comment letting me know you are here, and we'll get started in just a couple minutes to make this card. So last week we made this alternative card, and if you'd like to see all the cards that I've made so far, you can, if you are on YouTube, you can click on this link in the top right corner, or if you are in Facebook, then the link will be in the description as well. And then this kit does make the original cards. There are 12 original cards you can make with this kit, and we've already gone over how to make those in some past weeks. And these are the cards, so I'll just kind of show you really quick. There's some cute little cards. Here's another one of the little cards, and then a couple of the regular size cards. And so we're taking those products that come in the kit, so those supplies, and we're changing them up and we're creating alternatives with them. And so we'll be making this one today. So if you'd like more information on this card kit and how you can get one, I will list the item number as a link to the online store, and those will be below in the description. And that's both on Facebook and YouTube. So Facebook, it will be probably at the top of the video, and just click on the see more for all the information. All right, it looks like Diana's here joining us from Kentucky. Good morning, Diana. So one thing that's really important to me when I'm creating alternative designs is that I try to stick to the products in the kit, and then I just include a couple other extras. So the extras that you're going to need to make my cards are some thick cardstock. And I have the basic white thick cardstock from Stampin' Up, and I've just cut it to a Cardbase size, which is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches, and then scored at 4 1/4. So you're going to need that. And then you also will need a package of rhinestones. And I'm using the champagne rhinestones from Stampin' Up. I like how they have that little bit of gold or brass in them, so it coordinates nicely with the other elements in these cards. Diana says she loves my alternative cards. Thank you so much, Diana. I'm so glad you like them. Good morning, Virginia. Thank you so much. She also says beautiful cards. So for this one, I wanted to create a nice soft background color. And so I do need one other extra tool, and you can use a variety of tools to get a sponging effect on the background, or a blended effect, excuse me. So what I'm using is the blending brush, and it's a new product from Stampin' Up. It's just got a lot of little fibers really tightly compacted in there, and it just creates a really beautiful blend. So I need a blending brush, or you could use a Stampin' sponge or a sponge dauber to get this, achieve this look. So we'll go over how to do that as well as we're making the card. So that's just the one other tool you'll need for these cards today. Good morning, Amy. She says that she loved the card from last week. Yeah, I loved how simple it was, and just by rotating it, you get a totally different look. It's very pretty. All right, well, it's a little after 10, so let's go ahead and get started. So my goal with these cards is to still make them quick and easy. So we'll probably only be here for about 10 minutes today. But let's get started on that blending. So from last week, we took the card base that came in the kit. Do you remember this is the original card base? So let me show you. So this is the original card. You can see how it's a card base. And we cut the front from the back, and we used just the front for the card from last week. So today we are using the back. And that is where I've gotten this piece of cardstock. So this right now is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we're going to blend it, and then we'll trim it down just a little bit so that we can have a nice border around our card. So I'm grabbing some scrap paper here, and I'm going to blend on that. And I've got my blending brush, and I am going to use the Stampin' spot that came in the kit. Good morning, Diana. So good to see you. So we've got the Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to just carefully open it. There we go. And because it's smaller than our bigger stamp pads, I'm just going to make sure I hold it down at the base, and I'm just going to ink up my blending brush, going back and forth with that blue color. And then I do want to just do a little rub off to the side on my scrap paper, and you'll see that the reason for that is because you'll get, when you first start, you always will get a darker spot, and we don't want a really dark spot on our blended background. So I'm just going to start here in the middle, and I'm just going to blend that out. And I do want it to go all the way to the edges, but I want it to be just the darkest in the center. And you can just see how easy blending with these blending brushes is. And if you do have a second color that matches or coordinates with these cards, you could always do a fun blend, you know, that goes, or you could blend a new color in on the sides. All right, so I do want to go a little darker, so I'm just going to hold on to that ink pad, pick up some ink, do a little test off to the side, and then blend a little darker in the center and bring that color out. Now I have seen people who will use some scrap paper to hold so you don't get any fingerprints, because sometimes your fingerprints will pull up the ink off of your blended background. So you can use some scratch paper and then rotate. Just create a nice blend. You can go as dark or light as you want on this background piece. And you can use some different motions, vertical or horizontal, to get that look. Really easy. Looks like we've had a couple more people join us. Good morning, Anne and Lori. So glad you guys are able to be here today. So we've just got this really fun blended background now. The center's a little darker than the edges. So the next thing on our card is I'm creating just a background element that's going from the top right corner to the bottom left. And it's just stamped randomly with this little flower image. And this is the stamp set that comes in the kit. Whoops. And it's mostly some really great greetings. And then you have this fun flower and leaf image, and you can use them separately or together. I'm just going to place that on the clear block. This clear block also comes in the kit. So this one's an all-inclusive kit. So you get everything you need in this one kit. And then you're just going to stamp it randomly on the background. coming all the way down. The ones in the center, we don't need to have it be too close because they're kind of being covered up. But it's kind of fun to see them coming through the vellum a little bit. And then again, kind of gather a couple together here in the bottom corner. Okay, so something like that. You can add more or less, just depending on how you like it to look. I'm going to grab my paper trimmer. So this piece right now is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we just want to trim off 1/4 of an inch so that we have a little bit more space so we can have a nice border. And when I blended, this edges got a little dark. So I don't want to just cut off one end and have one be dark and one be light. So I'm going to cut 1/8 of an inch on all sides. So this is 4 1/8. And then rotate. And now this is 5 3/8. Sorry, it looked like things were stalled for a minute on the video. And then 4 inches. And then 5 1/4. Okay, so now we have a nice clean edge all the way around. And I'm going to move my scratch paper and my blending brush so that I have a cleaner space here. So again, we talked about the only things you're going to need that are not in the kit would be that blending tool as well as a card base. And this is basic white cardstock, and it's just been scored, and I will use a bone folder to go ahead and place that. And then we're using the die cut flower as well as that gem looking piece, and then one of the rectangles from the kit. So this would just be one of the labels. So the kit also comes with adhesive. And just to make things a little bit easier, I'm going to pull out my Stampin' seal. And I'm just going to use that to add this piece to my card. Just a little bit on each side. And then that goes right in the center of my card base. Just kind of eyeball it until you've got it looking where you want it to be. Good morning, Susan. So glad you're able to join us today. So when you work with vellum and you add adhesive, you want to make sure it's behind your other elements. So I'm going to actually add this, just kind of do a placement there, and then add my flower on the right side with some of the dimensionals first. I'm going to place the dimensionals just in the bottom part where it will cover, where it's going to attach to the vellum. And just make sure it's kind of in the center there. And I'm just going to kind of place it off to the side. You can angle it if you want. I just want to make sure I don't cover any of my flowers that I've stamped. So in the first card, you can see that I angled it down a little bit because I had a little more space between those flowers. This one I'm going to do a little more straight up and down. And then let's go ahead and stamp a greeting here on this label. Let me grab my Shammy to clean this. So you can also clean these with baby wipes or just some water. I really like the Shammy. I think it does a great job. And it's really easy to clean the chamois. You just run it under some water. I'm going to add that here, and we're using a day to remember. This is a nice greeting. You could use it for a lot of different occasions, birthdays, weddings, showers. So it's a fun one. Anniversaries. So just ink it up. Oh, hi, Kristen. Good to see you. Okay, so then just go ahead and put that in the center and stamp it down, nice even pressure. And then we're going to add this off to the left, or yeah, the left a little bit. I want to kind of tuck it underneath that flower. So I'm going to add those dimensionals, again, just mostly to one side. Oh, a little sticky there. So I'm kind of tucking it so that it's below the flower and above the stem, and then hopefully getting that straight. Nope. Let's try that again. So that might be straight. So now that that's on there, we can flip this over and add some adhesive to the back of the vellum. And there's lots of different adhesives you could use. It does come with some glue dots. I'm just going to use some tear and tape. This is just a little faster. Again, you just want to make sure it's hidden behind those elements. And you can just remove the paper. And then center that on your card. Just like that. And then we are just going to add a couple little elements just to bling it up a little bit. So we've got the copper cord that comes in the kit, and I'm going to just cut 8 inches here of that. And we're just going to do a little quick bow here, but I don't want to actually tie a bow. So I'm going to take one of these glue dots, and I am going to add it to the center of my ribbon here. So I've got a little glue dot there. And then I'll take another glue dot. And I tried looking for my take a pic tool, but I don't know where it went. And I actually have cleaned my craft room. So I wonder if it made it its way to a different room for a different reason. Anyway, so I'm adding another glue dot. So I've got the cord kind of sandwiched between 2 glue dots. I'm going to remove the paper on one of them. And then I just kind of take the center, find the center of one side and wrap it. And then kind of do the same on the other side. So remove that paper and then wrap it. And we talked last time about how this ribbon tends to have a mind of its own. And so you can need to kind of manipulate it so that the curls end up looking like a bow. This one really wants to go this way. Let's see if that works. That might be a little too weird of a bow. Let's just see. Yeah, I'm not sure that's going to look good. Okay, so let's work on this bow just a little bit. We'll try squeezing it. There we go. We got that one to work. And let's try this other side. So I kind of am having to go against the curve a little bit here so that it doesn't look weird. There we go. Okay, that looks better. Looks a little bit more like a bow. So we're going to actually place this under the greeting, just in that corner. And then those little bit of, oh, we might need to add a little more glue dot. Where did those disappear to? So just add another one either to one side or to both. And then you can just tuck that under the corner and glue it down just like that. That was looking cute. Yeah, Lori says, great tip, but I kind of just wished I have my little take a pick tool. That would have been easier than trying to do that with my fingernails. But anyway, it worked out pretty well. And then we've got those champagne rhinestones that we're going to add. If you don't have a take a pick tool, you can also use your paper snips, and you're just going to open them slightly and then put it underneath the gem and it will slide up. So that was something we used to do before we had the take a pick tool. And I'm just going to add these to my card. Maybe place one right there. And then that was the medium size, and then a large one and a small one. And our card's all done. Pam says, very pretty. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Pam. That fun blended background with the blue against the pink and green of the card, I think is really pretty. And then that copper color. Oh, I just got lots of likes. I'm so glad you guys like it. Thanks so much for joining me this Saturday morning. And we will be getting together again next Saturday to make another alternative card using this kit. Let me give you just a quick sneak peek of which one we're going to be making. Hold up, I'm just trying to find which one I want to do. Let's do this one next week. So here's a fun one that we'll do next week. This one looks a lot like the card base that it comes from. So here's the card base. This is the original card. But you can see here that the flowers are behind everything. And what I've done is I've actually fussy cut them all out and put them on a new card base so that they could be in front of some of those elements. And so this is just, it's a little more time consuming, but the images are nice and big. And so it doesn't take too long, and it's not terrible to fussy cut those out. So that's going to be our card for next week. So I hope you're able to join me again at 10 a.m. Mountain Time here in that Facebook group. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link to join the Facebook group is also below in the description. Everyone's saying, great job, love your alternatives. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. And you guys have a wonderful weekend. See you next time. Bye-bye.